like I said, like the tickets, they are selling quickly, and everyone that I've spoken to about this is very excited. And so, I mean, that creates excitement with me because that lets me know we're on the right track. Hello, friends and brothers. This is Justin Jones with Masonic Improvement. I am joined with my co-host, Dennis Yates. Dennis, do you want to introduce our guest?
He is a past personal representative of the San Antonio Valley Scottish Rite. He is a past master of Davy Crockett Lodge. He is a past education committee member for the Grand Lodge of Texas. He is a lot of past, but he is not a has-been. This is one of my favorite people in the world, Brother Bradley Kohanke.
Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that.
Well, Brad, this is probably like the fourth time you've been on
so
here?
Yeah.
Man, you're like a regular. There's a good reason for that, though. You always bring.
I know he's gonna have to get a jacket also. We're gonna have to get him a purple jacket just for being one of our frequent flyers.
I should have worn my shirt. I should have worn my Masonic Improvement shirt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I did what any good Mason would do. Number one, I'm promoting my valley first and foremost. I'm promoting symbolism. And now for the great reveal.
We don't want to see your butt.
Oh my God, what's he doing?
This is last time I showed everybody the red vest that I had made. And this one is the gray one, and you can't really see the skulls, but all it is a bunch of skulls. So there are skulls in Freemasonry, but we keep them hidden under our coats.
They're all on Dennis's desk.
Right.
Well, Brad, for the newcomers here, because the channel's grown quite a bit since you first came on and introduced yourself. If you would just give us, you don't have to go into great detail unless you want to, but just tell us a little bit about your background, like who you are, what got you to the fraternity, and what your interests are in the fraternity.
And I apologize for not mentioning your book. Brad is also an author with one of the best books on the market. It's the Chicken Soup for the Soul for Freemasonry, and I'll let you describe it, Brad, now that I've done it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's called Light Reflections, but yeah, it's been out there for a little over a year now, and it was 10 years in the making. So I'm pretty proud of that. But I think Dennis covered all the high points. I mean, all the positions that I've held. The reason that I joined Freemasonry is probably the same as most of the guys that are watching this show. Is I was looking for a way to better understand my relationship to God and my place in the universe. And I had been kind of on a spiritual quest since the age of 16. And I used to order a lot of books from this specialty bookstore called The Twig in San Antonio. And I went in there one day and I had a list of books that I wanted to order. This was before the internet, before Amazon.com, before the big box bookstores. And one of the books that I was ordering was Duncan's Ritual. And the guy behind the counter asked me, "Are you a Mason?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, good, because if you were, you wouldn't be allowed to own this book." So I immediately told him I wanted 2 copies, because I wasn't supposed to have it, which meant I wanted it even more. But then he asked if I was interested in learning more about Freemasonry from Freemasons. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So he invited me to Davy Crockett Lodge, and I went and had dinner there. And a couple of weeks later, filled out a petition and joined in 1991. And I have not learned to say no to anything since. So,
well, given your Masonic resume, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But we're all better for it.
But exactly. I was going to make that there's a lot of people that don't say no and they like those feathers. But Brad, he could have gone to the Grand South, and he chose not to because that wasn't his calling. He wanted to focus on the mystic side of Freemasonry and not the administrative side. And I applaud you because you are intentional with your Freemasonry, unlike a lot of people that go through not knowing, not having direction. And you've been very intentional with your Freemasonry, and I applaud you. That everybody should know that.
Well, thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. I mean, there was a time that I probably would have considered it, but having been close to the fire, so to speak, I realized that it really wasn't something that I wanted to get involved with. I much prefer the outskirts.
Yes.
And kind of delving into the spiritual aspects of the craft, and I'll leave the politics to everybody else.
Well, I had considered it at one point, and I never got close to the fire, but I saw the fire, and it was in a dumpster, and I decided not to have anything to do with it. So I probably never will.
That's a great analogy. That's awesome. I love that one.
Yeah. I've got an article from the Rocky Mountain Freemason that an unnamed brother forwarded to me that I'll have to send to you guys about that topic. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Probably do a whole show on it. So
yeah, I really would like that.
Yeah,
that's all. I received about that.
Yeah, I received it as well. It's I started reading it, but then I started drinking and visiting with another brother and stopped reading. So,
well, someone send it to me, please.
It's a good article. Right?
If I say the wrong thing, it's all because of Brother Scott McMahon. He forced me to stay at the pub instead of going to the EA degree, and we had a few rounds of Crown, and I will say that it was a very good and enlightening discussion that we had, and in fact, I think he's going to join our Valley soon. So I'm really excited about that because Scott's a really down to earth. No, he's really a down to earth brother, and he's looking at the mysticism as well.
Nice.
The gray area we like to play around in. We like to swim in. That's
all right, Justin. I just sent it to you via email. So
awesome. I appreciate that very much. One of the reasons we wanted to bring you onto the show, aside from your always excellent conversation, is that we would like to announce our fourth speaker for the Masonic Improvement Building a Better Brotherhood Summit, the one and only Bradley Kohanke. And I'm telling you, this is why I'm so excited. This is why I'm so pumped up about the summit. Like, you guys do not understand. And we kind of pull the veil back a little bit with each and every speaker we introduce. You do not understand how pumped I am about this lineup. It is going to be like the dream team of Masonic speakers at Corpus Christi on September 16th. It's going to be awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it. I know the speakers, and Lucas Minton from Arkansas is one of my closest friends up here now, and he's going to be fabulous. And I know Chris is coming, and he's a pain in my butt, but I love him anyway.
Well, figured y'all keep each other in check.
Yeah,
I'm excited because we go to different events and we listen to different presentations. We listen to different ideologies, and it all seems to be a reflection of the surface and very, very wide, but it's only about this deep. And instead, we've got just one little well, and it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And not only that, after the talks and after the Master Mason's degree, we're all going to sit on the beach and further those discussions, and it's going to be awesome. Awesome.
The night will not be long enough for all the fellowship.
I know.
You have no idea how many people from Arkansas are coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had our ceremony of remembrance and renewal last night at the Scottish Rite, and there must have been 12 guys say they were coming. Some of them are bringing their wives. There's a whole contingent of Arkansas Freemasons.
Wow. Well, point them to the link that I'll post in this video, because we're not selling tickets at the door. So hopefully they've all got tickets, or we'll get tickets and they're going
Yeah,
fast.
I'll share it with Lucas and Tim and the rest of those guys that are coming. So
Awesome.
Yes. Yes. And I'll talk with Lucas as well and remind him to tell them to call me. That way we can get all of them on the top floor with us at the hotel, because we've just about got the whole thing all decked out for all of our visitors. And I'm excited about that.
And I'm telling you,
that is so cool.
The top floor of the hotel is going to be.
it's gonna be fun, man.
It's gonna be
and I can't believe you got the degree on the Lex. That's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, Tom Wimberly, he was responsible for bringing the Lexington to Corpus, and he's assisted in making sure that everything gets done that has to do with Lexington, as well as assisting Oso Lodge, who is the one who actually puts on the degree. But he has been a tremendous help with everything that we're doing. And same with Mike King. Mike King has secured so much for us and made this such a. I couldn't have done it without either one of them, because they are the nuts and bolts of Freemasonry down there in Corpus. They really are.
Yeah.
And Bo Lindley's going to take me around to all the lodges so that, we can talk about this, as well as the Scottish Rite coming up for this reunion. And, man, without their support, that's the beauty of our brotherhood, right? We meet these brothers while we travel. And then once we share those moments and have that real connection, through discussions of Freemasonry and through discussions of the mystery schools, and through all these discussions, they become people that you can call, and they're going to answer that call, and they're going to do it tenfold. If they can help you, they're going to do it more than what you need, so that it's successful, so that you're successful, so that the event's successful. So hats off to everybody, especially all of you brothers that are coming down for us and doing this. I'm so grateful for the people we know that actually like us and love us and care enough to come down and let us not sink with the ship.
when you create an event like this, especially when it's the first time, it's scary, right? Because you don't know if your effort's going to be in vain, right? You don't know what kind of support you're actually going to get until things start rolling. And granted, September 16th is a long way away, right? But the support and the excitement and the interest has far exceeded my expectations and my hopes. Like I said, like the tickets, they are selling quickly. And everyone that I've spoken to about this is very excited. And so, I mean, that creates excitement with me, because that lets me know we're on the right track. I always felt like doing something like this is just a natural extension. It's the natural progression of what we're doing, right? Let's take what we talk about on the internet and bring it in person. And but it's a big shift, right? And I'm very excited to see the enthusiasm in the fraternity for this event. So I'm so excited and so looking forward to going to this and hanging out with Brad again and hearing what everyone has to say and just wearing myself thin in general. But it's going to be just amazing.
Well, you guys got the right people involved down there, that's for sure. Tom Wimberly is one of the best Masons I know. It's just all around super guy. Mm-hmm. Will bend over backwards to do anything for you. And the same holds true for Bo Lindley and Mike King. Mike King has worked on that degree on the Lexington for years.
Yes.
He was running it when I conferred it. And that was back in 2017, 2016, something like that.
Wow.
But
I didn't know you conferred it, but it does not surprise me either.
Well, and he is also the a member of the Knights of Mecca, and he's the one who reached out to them to get them to come down and put on the degree in full costume and full, regalia and everything, so that it makes it just a little bit more special than the degree that you will see when you go to somebody's lodge or something like that. So, so much has gone into this, so much care and so much brotherly love. And of course, we know some of the brothers that are in the Knights of Mecca, and they're just some of our favorite people in the world. But if it hadn't been for Mike initiating it, there's a certain way that they like to be asked to do it, and he knows how to do it. So, he's the man. He made it happen. And
for anyone who has not seen the master's degree upon the Lexington, it is on board a retired World War II. Hold on, let me back up. A haunted, retired World War II aircraft carrier that is now a museum. And it is, I'll just say it is badass. I mean, the whole setup that they got there is just awesome. And then the room that we use for the degree, we're gonna pack it up, man.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you thought about it, but
it'll be
pack that thing up.
It'll be standing room only, I'm sure.
Yes.
And by the way, I know you guys are going to tell people this, but they need to bring their dues cards to get in.
Yes.
Good point.
And bring some cash, because Oso Naval Lodge usually sells caps and pins to commemorate your experience there. And it's totally worth it. I still wear my cap.
I didn't see that
last
year.
I have both. I have both.
I guess I just walked right by them. But yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to get one this year.
Well, make sure they're selling them, because if they weren't planning on it, maybe you can plant the seed. And
I mean, it's going to be
they use it as a fundraiser,
Yeah.
Yes.
They definitely should.
And they usually have paper aprons, but it's always nice if you bring your own apron, and everybody has their lodge apron that they wear to lodge. That's always a cool experience, especially when you have the out of town guests and they have their big ornate aprons, and different jurisdictions, they have some pretty cool aprons. And I love it when they come in from different states and we see all the different aprons and things like that. So bring your apron too. I mean, that's just a cool experience. It tells a little bit about you.
Yeah.
It's not about, the level of Freemasonry you're at, but it is about the wisdom that you've gained through Freemasonry. And those aprons usually express that for you without you ever having to say a word.
So Brad,
it's cool.
I know I'm completely putting you on the spot. Do you have an idea, which you should be used to, right? Do you have an idea of what you'll be presenting on for the summit? And if you do, could you give us just kind of a taste?
Well, the original plan was to go esoteric and talk about Freemasonry's connection to the ancient mystery schools. But I think I'm going to expand on that a little bit, because honestly, this is a leadership forum. And in addition to talking about that connection, I want to bring out the idea and the fact that we're kind of losing our connection to our history. It's unfortunate, but it just seems that as we progress, we're getting further and further away from our roots.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've talked about traditional observance lodges, and we've talked about the Masonic Restoration Foundation and all these organizations that are trying to maintain that connection with our origins. But it just seems like as time goes by, that contingent of Masons that are trying to turn it into a political environment, political animal environment, are getting away from what we were supposed to be initially.
Yeah.
And I don't think people joined the fraternity 100 years ago, 200 years ago, to simply collect badges and laurels for themselves and somehow get some sense of accomplishment or leadership within a small fraction of the population at large. They're leaders within the fraternity, and they've accomplished something, and they get to direct something and manipulate something and manage people. But it's a fraternity, and the leadership seems to have kind of lost track of what their role is as servant leaders and representatives of the mass of Masons. And I think it would do us well to re-examine what it is we were originally founded to do, and that's to teach, moral values and a spiritual connection to each other and to divinity, and understand our place in the universe. I mean, that's why I joined. I imagine that's why most people join. I don't know
Absolutely.
if it continues after they've been a member for a while, but
we've got a member of our inner circle. He's not a Mason yet. He's looking to join in New York, and he says the exact same things as you. And he directly says, as a young man, I'm looking for that spiritual connection. I'm looking to understand God. I've grown up learning all this stuff on the internet, but I want that personal connection. And I need that, those rites of passage. I need those, different teachings from the mystery schools. He's the reason why I tell people we better be prepared for when these brothers come in, because we've watered it down so much. And I'm not saying it's any one person's fault. It's a collective, right?
Yeah,
but
it seems to be a mindset. Yeah.
Right. So we've watered it down so much that these new brothers coming in, they're looking for exactly what you're talking about, Brad. And in reality, back in the day, you had your political leaders and stuff like that. But the teachers of the mystery schools, they were the leaders that moved the hearts of the people. The leaders politically were tyrants, right? The leaders of the mystery schools, they were the ones who opened the hearts and minds of the next generation. And that's how we get what we have, because of everything that they did.
I want to say, first and foremost, thank you again, Brad, for coming onto the show. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your willingness to come speak at the summit. It is brothers like you that will make or break the summit, and you're gonna make it. I mean, you're gonna make it just a legendary event. So very excited to have you. No pressure, but just super excited to have you here. You also made a comment. You applauded the willingness, and I probably said this, but I haven't said it enough. You applauded our willingness to reach out and make this happen. This would not be in the state it is right now without Dennis. Like, it is, he's the yin to my yang, man. Like we complement each other very well, and one of my weak points is the human connection. So I'm very good. I'm very good at editing. I like to think I'm good at ideas. I like to think I'm decent enough in person, but as far as like pulling strings and reaching out to people and making those connections and leveraging or whatever it is he does, I'm not good at that. Like I'm terrible at that. So like the hotel, the venue, the guests, this was all Dennis. This is all Dennis's work. The summit would not happen without Dennis, or would not be at the scale that it's going to be. So if I haven't said it enough, I'll just point it out right now. Like granted, September 17th, I might be like, man, Dennis, you really screwed the pooch on this. But as of right now,
exactly.
Right now,
put it all on me there. I was thinking
now,
that as you were talking.
the way it's all shaping up, like he calls me, like he messages me like every other day, like, hey, I got great news. I got great news about the event. And it's I mean, there's been a few setbacks, but they're always countered with huge bounce forward. And so my hat's off to Dennis. Definitely appreciate everything you bring to the show. Speaking of everything you bring to the show, I'll also go ahead and shout out Masonic Muscle. They give Dennis a great shout out in their latest episode.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
So,
and I'm dropping the gauntlet, man. I'm calling you out. That was so
So
funny.
if you don't
Pace
listen to Masonic
myself.
Muscle,
Okay, so what he's referring to is that they said I need to pace myself. If you can't keep up with this old man, you just need to stay home. Stay home and drink a protein shake and catch on up, Caesar. We love you, but you just catch on up.
I was listening on the way to work to that, and I almost had to pull over because I was laughing so hard. So listen to Masonic Muscles' latest episode. Dennis gets a shout out. It's definitely worth it. And
Justin gets
Jamie
the good
Starrett's
one.
on it.
I get the one that really captures my sparkling personality.
Do you have any?
That was so bad.
You know, any final thoughts, Dennis?
I would, as just like Brad said, we really do care about this fraternity, and we're not just we're guarding the West Gate at the same time. So when you contact us, we're gonna screen you before we send you to anybody. But we want to make sure that it's really the right fit for you, because not everybody is the right fit, and you may not benefit from joining our fraternity, just like I may not benefit from joining the Elks Club or whatever. Today, as a matter of fact, we got a message on the Scottish Rite Facebook page. Somebody wanted to join the page, and I said, "Are you wanting to join?" And he said he's interested in joining. And I said, "Are you wanting to join the Scottish Rite, or are you wanting to become a Freemason?" Those are two different conversations. So we're going to screen and see kind of what's going on in your head, and then make the right move. With this particular brother, I was able to forward him on to Fort Worth 148, and they will take it from here with their awesome process of how they make brothers. And I feel fully confident that not only will they do their job very well, but the candidate will benefit tremendously from that connection. So we are trying to build a better brotherhood by piecing people together with the right fit, not just a fit, not just throwing you in there. So I wanted to add that little bit, because that's a very important part that we forget sometimes, is that, like we spoke on with the different cultures and ideologies of lodges, we need to make sure that we are responsible to you, our listeners, and to our fraternity, and do this the right way. So when we ask those questions of you, when you check on us and we ask those questions, don't feel nervous or anything. Just answer honestly, and we'll get you where you need to go. But otherwise, I'm just grateful for everything that you've done, Justin. And from our very first interview, it was just a knock out of the park, man. It was just a home run. I knew right then that we were meant to talk. And with Brad, and I'm gonna try not to cry like I did at the Scottish Rite,
Pace yourself,
as he was leaving us.
Pace yourself.
I know, right? I met Brad at officer leadership training. He was one of the committee members that was giving the presentations, and he and Chris found me. They found me. I was lost, and they found me. And when he took me in and started mentoring me, and Chris started working with me, and my wife loves Chris more than she loves me, but that's a whole nother story. But when they took, she knows that I'm too close to you, so she's not. But seriously, in all seriousness, when they found me, and I started finding my people, and I hope that every Mason has that experience. If you're not getting the Freemasonry that you thought you were looking for, even if it's shifted since you become a Mason, because that happens too, then travel, meet brothers, talk to the people that really pique your interest, and get to know them, because more than likely they have some excellent advice for you. They have the willingness and the love for not only you but the fraternity, that they're going to guide you properly. And I just wanted to say that there's not many people I admire as much as Bradley Kohanke. There really isn't. And Chris is up there. I love him to death, but he's not Bradley Kohanke to me. And so
I'm
It'll
gonna
be real
call him as
awkward
soon
at
as
the-
we're done.
I know you will.
You're
And
making the
as soon
summit
as he
really
calls
awkward.
me, I'm going to say, no, Chris, you're the one. You're the one.
Wow.
Don't watch the interview with us and Chris, because
Hey, I
I said the same thing.
I said final thoughts, not confess your love.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to say that, but in all seriousness, though, that's the importance of finding good mentors in your life, in your journey, to help you to experience the Freemasonry that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So travel, find your mentors. You know, they're not always going to show themselves in your lodge. Find them, and they'll find you. I'm testament to that. They'll find you. So with that being said, thank you, brothers. As always, keep it between the points.
If you would like Dennis as a mentor, reach out to me and I will send you his phone number and his MySpace link.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll make you one of my
His
8
fax
friends. I'll make you one of my 8 favorite friends.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for coming on to the show.